Akeen is suddenly hijacked to a new world different from the one she knows, and she is informed that she is a goddess and must bring them water. Will Akeen be able to help the Wonderland? Watch out and take care. Akeen rests by her window to enjoy the charming atmosphere. She returns to bed not long before her mother calls her to prepare for school. She lies to her mother that she is ill and wouldn't like to go to school. Her mother, Midori, asks if she should call a doctor, but Akeen refuses. Akeen receives a call from one of her classmates, and she remembers an issue that occurs among her friends due to hair clips. Akeen is awoken by her cat when the cat puts his butt by her head. She is hungry, so she decides to go to the kitchen and prepare something for herself. As she picks up the bread, her mother comes back and asks that she should sit in the terrace so she can cook for her. Midori prepares a light breakfast for Akeen. After breakfast, Midori asks Akeen to visit her friend Chi-chan and get her birthday gift. Akeen refuses to go. She says it is ridiculous that she is the one going to get her birthday gift, as her birthday is tomorrow. Akeen is forced to visit Chi-chan in her shop. Getting to the front of the shop, she overhears Chi-chan negotiating a sale with a customer. As the customer leaves, Chi notices Akeen and hugs her tight, touching her butt to confirm her maturity. Inside the store, Akeen sees Chi has packed some luggage. Akeen asks Chi where she is traveling to, and Chi shows her a picture. Akeen walks around the shop while Chi helps her find the gift. Akeen sees a wall with a fingerprint, a wall she was the Berlin Wall. She puts her finger inside the fingerprint and it fits in perfectly. She cannot remove her finger and she screams for help. Chi hears knocking by her basement door and an unknown man comes in through her basement door. Chi tries to attack the man and calls the police, but the man says he isn't there to harm them. Chi brings a broom and hits it on the man's head repeatedly. The man tells her he is only there for their princess, as the person whose fingerprint fits the wall is their goddess of the green wind. The man speaks to a doll in the store called Pippo. The doll comes alive and flies towards the man's arm. The man introduces himself as Hippocrates and tells Chi they are from another world, and they are connected to this world through her basement. Chi is excited to hear and see someone from another world. Hippocrates tells Akeen to rest her hands so she can remove her finger, and then tells her they need her in their world as she is the only one who could save them. Hippocrates puts a heavy chain on Akeen. She tries to remove the chain, but it becomes invisible and the chain starts drawing her towards them. Hippocrates and Pippo take her through the basement, and Chi carries one of her bags and follows them. They find themselves in another realm, enter a hole, and find themselves in a bird's nest at the top of a tower. The bird comes out and Akeen is very scared. Chi tries to calm the bird down. Then they walk down from the tower through the stairs. Upon getting down, Hippocrates sees the armored rat, a big steel cab driven by Zangu. The steel scares a man and his mother. The man drives off the way and falls into the bush. He takes his mother out of their cart as Zangu takes their cart away with all their luggage. Hippocrates goes to Zangu. He brings the sheep, leaves to order for the sheep, but Chi hurriedly pushes him and the leaf falls. They try to escape the armored rat, but Akeen's leg is stuck on the floor. They carry Akeen away as the armored rat goes towards the tower. The armored rat removed the tower stairs, shaking the tower and threatening the bird. Chi goes to help the bird by catching the bird's egg. Hippocrates eventually gets the leaf, calls for a pack of sheep, and the sheep threaten Zangu. The bird comes down for her egg, and Hippocrates introduces the man as the chief of Coxcomb alongside his aged mother. They all walk into the town. Seeing how peaceful and pretty the town is, Akeen wonders what the problem they brought her to solve is. Hippocrates explains that their world makes a living through the sale of sweaters. They get the wools from the sheep, and they color it brightly, then make sweaters for sale. Unfortunately, there has been a lack of water, so their sweaters are fading in color. Pippo tells Akeen that 600 years ago they once had the same issue with water. The goddess of green wind came to help them, and they need the goddess again. They all enter the chief's house for dinner. During the dinner, they explain to Akeen and Chi that there is a palace of rain. Unfortunately, the king and queen died after each other about 5 years ago, leaving a prince who is depressed about his parents' death that he won't leave his bed. The prince eventually became ill and no one could take care of water again, making them short of water. Hippocrates says no one can heal the prince except the goddess of the green wind. They also explained that the armored rat is probably a thug from another village they started raiding their town about 6 months ago. The chief says his mother is the best knitter in the town, but she is already weak and her eyesight is deteriorating. They knitted the sweater stolen by Zangu so they could sell it at the Saka Satungari market contest. He says his mother is knitting another sweater. Zangu, together with Doropo, comes down from the rat delivering all the steel they had stolen to a blacksmith who insists he won't help them as their metal isn't enough. Zangu strangles the man until he succumbs. The man asks for more medals from Zangu and Doropo returns to the armored rat to get more medals. After the dinner, Chi tells Akin that she is lucky to have such a great adventure at a young age. As they are talking, they hear the chief shout for help. They all go to the chief and see his mother gasping for breath. The older woman insists she will finish knitting the sweater for the contest. Hippocrates gives the woman drugs and then volunteers to take the sweater to the contest since the location is near the Rain Palace. The next morning, Hippocrates, Pippo, Akin, and Chi depart for their journey. They meet cold snow on their way and a heavy wind carrying their car. They eventually get to Saka Satungari and they lodge at a hotel while Hippocrates goes to get coal for their car. Zangu raids the hotel asking for water and food. As Hippocrates returns, he sees the armored rat outside the hotel, tails Zangu and sees Zangu where he buys a huge bullet to blow up the well and bring water. Hippocrates tries to attack Zangu, but Doropo turns him into a fly. At the hotel, the others wonder why Hippocrates isn't back, and they set out to find him. They see there is already coal in the car. They eventually decide to continue their journey without Hippocrates. Although Hippocrates is in the car with them as a fly, they ride till they get to a dead end. They use the map to find the fastest route since they have to wake the prince up before the drop-cutting ceremony the next day. The fly pitches on the map, and they try to kill the fly but eventually find a route, which is to pass behind the mountain. They reach a road that is hanging on a rope, and Akin asks Chi to stop driving, but Chi summons the courage to pass through it. They have to jump on a leaf in the water. They come down on the leaf and then cover themselves with water on the leaf so that they can breathe underwater. They enter the water and teleport to the Saka Satungari. Hippocrates flies to the palace, shows the Duke into the palace, and sees the prince in a medal. The Duke wonders how irresponsible the palace wizard Commodora is for him to be deeply asleep at a time like this when the country needs his help. Getting to the palace, Akin, Chi, and Pippo are to be checked in by cats. However, the other cats allow them to pass. Gilbert, Akin's cat, refuses to let Akin pass before she drew his tail when he kept his butt on her cheek that morning. Gilbert sentences Akin to tail dragging. They drag Akin's tail and then release them. Akin and Pippo go to deliver the sweater for the contest and allow Chi to take a tour of the city. After delivering the sweater, they see Doropo. They tail him till they get to Zangu. Zangu stands on the mountaintop looking at the city while Doropo comes to him to give him the food he had stolen. Pippo reads the mouth of Zangu and Doropo so he can get what they are saying. He fast realized that Zangu and Doropo were planning to burn down the well. She returns to the car but can't find the others, so she decides to stay in the car and wait for them. In the red armor, Zangu is reconsidering his decision to destroy the well. Akin and Pippo enter the armor so they can stop Zangu. Wizard Commodora eventually wakes up from his deep sleep and tells everyone the person in the metal doll isn't the prince, as the person is only a decoy. Zangu eventually makes his decision, then drives the armor to destroy the well. Doropo comes to Zangu, and in their conversation it is deduced that Zangu is the prince. After Commodora had gone into a deep sleep, the prince begged Ron, now Doropo, and once one of Commodora's trainees, to please remove him from the doll. In the process of removing him, Ron turns the prince into Zangu. Pippo goes to Doropo, calls him his real name, Ron, and begs them not to destroy the well, telling them that if they destroy the well, they will destroy their whole city. Kamodora watches everything happening in the armor from a glass. He tells the people with him that the decision to destroy the well or otherwise lies solely on the prince, and he must be left to make such a decision. Kamodora removes the spell on everyone in the armor, so Doropo becomes Ron, the fly becomes Hippocrates, and an animal changes into a donkey. Zangu locks everyone outside the armor except Akane. He tells Akane if she is indeed the goddess, then she should stop him from destroying the well. Zangu tells Akane that his ancestors successfully did the drop-cutting ceremony. Still, he is scared. He says that after his parents' death, he became rebellious. Kamodora was scared, and when Kamodora was about to go into a deep sleep, he turned him into an iron doll. Akane talks to and convinces him until he turns from Zangu back to the prince. Coming out of the armor, Akane asks Hippocrates to make an anchor chain for the prince so he could be courageous too. Akane, Chi, Pippo, and Hippocrates go to Hippocrates' lab to make the chain. As they get there, Akane gives the chain to the prince, and they both wear their rope and prepare for the ceremony. Chi asks Hippocrates what would happen if the sacrifice fails. Hippocrates tells her that if the sacrifice fails, the prince would have to sacrifice his life. Just as the prince had feared, his sacrifice fails. He attempts to jump into the well, but Akane holds him. He eventually jumps down with Akane. The god of water appeared to them in the dry well. He tells the prince to thank Akane because she saved him, and he then returns the duo to the land. The prince cuts the drop, and water begins to pour all over their city. Hippocrates and Pippo see Akane and Chi off to the door. Hippocrates tells Akane that the first goddess of green wind kept her print on that wall. Coincidentally, Akane slips and touches the exact spot, thereby leaving her prints too. Hippocrates gives Akane a gift from the King of Water. Chi and Akane is disturbed that Akane's mother may have been waiting for them. Hippocrates reassures them that a day in their world is just an hour in a human's world. So they had been gone for just 3 hours, then orders them to follow the music back to Chi's store. Getting into Chi's store, the man who came earlier to check for lamb came back. Akane goes home while Chi asks the man to watch her store as she wants to sleep. Upon getting home, Akane thanks her mother for the great birthday gift, then rests on her mother's shoulder while Gilbert, her cat, lies on the mat given to Akane by Hippocrates. Thank you for watching the recap. Please subscribe to our channel to get notified when we post the next recap. See you next time!